So it is just 5 o'clock now. Peter, you went ahead and started the record button.
Yeah, hold on one sec. All right, go ahead.
Thank you. We are missing a few people. I do have a quorum currently. So I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. It is 5 p.m. Cindy, if you could do roll call for me.
Sure. Don Humison,
He is not able to attend.
Stefan Zaporowski,
He's not able to attend.
Shannon Berry,
Here.
Stacy Burgess,
She's not able to attend.
Chris Carey,
He's here.
was that a here? Okay,
Yep.
thanks. Ray Diaz,
Here.
Ralph Figgy,
I do not believe, oh, he's on. I see him.
okay. Brian Ferret,
Here.
Shelley Hazlitt,
Here.
Bridget Matthews Payne,
Present here.
Bill Park,
Don't see him yet.
okay. Brian Sullivan,
No, he's here. I see. I see him.
He's on mute.
okay.
Here, sorry.
Sorry, Cindy Sullivan,
Here.
Tammy Tepp,
Here.
Chris Tolpa,
Here.
Lisa Benoit,
I do not see her.
okay.
Okay, so also in attendance tonight, we have Dan Pallotta with P3. We have Bert Edgen from Calumbine. We have Jim Hannafin from Calumbine. We have James Fiore from Calumbine. Did I miss anybody? Nope, I think I got them. Okay. This is the time in the meeting for public participation. If we have anybody that would like to speak to the group, or if anybody has received correspondence from anyone and would like to share that. If so, just state your name and your address. Seeing none, we can move on to summary of community correspondence. Although the superintendent is not here, I do not believe we've received anything. And if we do, I can share that within the minutes when they're posted. Okay, moving on. We will move very quickly through this meeting, sorry. So next item on the agenda is the approval of the May 27th, 2021 School Building Committee meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Brian has moved and Cindy has seconded. Cindy, roll call, please.
Sure. Shannon Berry,
Yes.
Chris Carey,
Yes.
Ray Diaz,
Abstain.
Ralph Figgy,
Abstained. I wasn't at the last meeting.
Brian Ferret,
Yes.
Shelley Hazlitt,
Yes.
Bridget Matthews Kane,
Yes.
Brian Sullivan,
Yes.
Cindy Sullivan,
Yes.
Tammy Tepp,
Yes.
and Chris Tolpa.
Yes, Cindy, and Bill Parks just arrived.
Yeah, I just got here. It was a long,
Okay.
I made it.
I'll go for it.
Thank you very much. Now on to the OPM report. Dan, do you have anything you want to share with the group today? I can't hear Dan. Can you guys?
Can't hear you at all.
Dan, we can't
Can't
hear
hear
you.
you, Dan.
I tell you what, so we've got, I know that Dan and his teams have been working on, submissions with the MSBA, correspondence with the MSBA. We were, as you guys saw, invited into the schematic phase, and that's a huge part, from the group and both the design and OPM, all the work that they've done to get us into that. So, we're keep marching along. We are going to hit our dates. I believe that's probably what Dan was gonna talk about. So Dan, if you're okay, I'll just move on to Bert for tonight. Okay, so next on the agenda is the architectural update. Pete, can you give Bert access to share? Perfect. Hey, Bert, take it away. I know Bert has, with all of the meetings that he's been holding with the different players, there are some changes. And so we just kind of wanted to share. So Bert, if you want to take it away.
Yep, thanks, Tammy. And thank you to everyone that participated in the meetings. We had a ton of meetings. There were like 2 days a week, half-day sessions through May and June. So I think we finally got through all of them, and it's really helped us to kind of bring the plan along since the PSR submission. So this is just for a quick recap, what the PSR plan looked like on the first floor.
You're cut off, Bert.
What's that?
You're cut off.
Okay,
Yeah.
hang on, I got to stop it for a second, and I'll share it again and see if that does it. How's that look?
Better.
Are you seeing the notes page, or is it the whole slide? It's the whole slide. Okay, good. All right. Sorry about that. So this was the original plan that we went to the PSR with. It really hasn't changed as far as the overall organization, with a main street kind of circulation spine, public spaces to the top of the plan, academic wings to the bottom of the plan. We had the admin suite here, the nurse off the lobby. We had an STE classroom and a media center. Then the gym, a shared stage, cafeteria, the kitchen, and the service zone, with some public common shared spaces along the corridor. Through all of the meetings that we've had in this phase, there's been quite a few developments, although overall, as I said, it's pretty much the same overall organization. The biggest changes that we did on the first floor is that we split the admin suite, the program for that, so that we could move the nurse to some outside windows. That was a request that we had through the course of those meetings. So we've still got like a reception area. The entry into the school still works the same. We'll incorporate a drop box so that if it's just someone dropping off an instrument or a lunch, they can do so without even coming into the school. But we'll have the principal, and a spare office, a duplicating room, and the mail workroom, kind of off in that main core there. Then we took the conference room and the assistant principal, as well as the records room, and then the staff bathroom. We pulled them outside of the admin suite to allow kind of the bottom half of this block here to be developed so that the nurse could move over. She's still, or he or she is still located right off of the lobby for convenient access, still close to the youngest students next to the pre-K wing. So that was one big change. We also swapped the position of the media center and the STE classroom so that the STE classroom could develop some kind of sheltered outdoor space. And the presence of the media center on the corner of the building, just symbolically, it was a better position, I think, for that program. We moved the art from the second floor down to the first floor, so it's adjacent to the music room. We also adjusted the breakout locations within the classroom wings. If I'll actually just jump up. If you recall, the breakout were kind of right in the middle of the wing, and the circulation kind of made its way through the breakout space. Where we're at now, we've kind of pushed that to the side of the corridor as an alcove, and it's become more long and narrow. But what it allows is the flexibility to, for that program during class time to kind of spill out and capture, instead of just 400 square feet, the full width of the corridor. So you're almost doubling your breakout space in that case. And then when they're not using it, the furniture can be pushed into within the confines of the breakout footprint, and your egress is all clear. So we also aligned the opening that was facing the courtyard was across from the gym before. We've taken that and aligned it with a little niche we created outside the cafeteria, so that you've got some spillover for dining area and some just gathering space that looks out onto the courtyard there. And we added some flex meeting space for the guidance program. So, or your adjustment counselors, they meet with groups of students. So rather than have them, I think originally we had just extended space outside here for them to gather, but subject matter and things needing more privacy, we actually created an enclosed space there that can have lunch groups or other counseling sessions with small groups of students there, grief counseling and things. So those are really the biggest moves on the first floor that we've done. We also did kind of move the grand stair with the tiered seating over to this side against the gym wall so that we could tuck the guidance or the STE storage underneath it. It also just kind of, we originally had it on this corner. It was kind of awkward to come around. It just kind of improves the flow through the lobby space into the pre-K wing. And then the last thing we did is we've adjusted the size of the cafeteria slightly because the number of students moving through the consolidated school is such that in order to get kids time to eat, we're moving to 3 lunch sittings. So at the second floor in the PSR phase, just a reminder, we had the classroom wings again organized off the Main Street corridor on the second floor. And we had things like speech and reading are kind of common program spaces. Those were kind of tucked into some of the academic wings. Through our improvements in this last phase, we've kind of moved all of that shared program space. The ELL classroom is moved upstairs, but it's off this common corridor. Speech, reading, OTPT, all of the common shared programs that are shared by students through all the grade levels have kind of moved out of the academic neighborhoods and onto that main corridor. So we've also kind of arranged it on the second floor now so that anyone that's an office or a classroom space has opportunities to capture natural light and some views outside from their office, whether it's a direct window outside or if it's in the case of one of these inboard offices. We've got a large glass window looking at the courtyard, and we can put some borrowed lights on the interior walls to kind of capture that sunlight and views outside. We also worked to kind of consolidate and align the first floor and the second floor as much as possible. The footprint on the second floor at the PSR phase was much smaller. So the building pretty much stepped in from the first floor all around the perimeter. In most cases, we've been able to align all these so that the rooms stack. We've really kind of come up with a regular layout for each of the classroom wings, which should help in the constructability of the project. If the contractor just has to learn how to lay out one wing, he's pretty much figured out the layout for the rest of the building. So again, we've got some more flex meeting space outside of the guidance office on this floor as well. Those are the biggest changes to the plan that have come out of the meetings over the last 2 months. And what that's given us is hopefully a layout that everybody's happy with at this point, because part of the schematic design submission includes providing plans, space summaries, and adjacency matrices to DESE. And what they're looking for really is to understand the program, the special ed program, and to make sure that we satisfy the adjacencies requested by the district, and that the space is distributed evenly through the building so that we don't create any kind of stigmatized zones within the building that become the special ed kind of corner of the school. I think that we've done a good job. This is what the first floor plan will look like, and we highlight the special ed program just so that you can readily see how it's distributed. Moving up to the second floor, again, you can see that we've kind of distributed as evenly as we can throughout the footprint of the floor and the layout of the building. These plans, as I said, have to go to the Department of Early and Secondary Education. They'll review these, and we need to have these approved with our schematic submission that goes in August. So we would like to submit these plans as soon as possible. And that's one of the things we're hoping to get tonight is a vote from this group to give your approval to use these layouts for the DESE submission. Once we get the approved DESE submission, we can't move the bed spaces at all, or else we'll have to go back to DESE again for a resubmission on that. So I don't know, Tammy, if you want to hold the vote till the end, or if you want me to keep going with the presentation.
Let's hold the vote to the end. But just, in the DESE stuff, is there, so far with what you guys have seen, are there any questions that Bert, might be able to answer? I mean, he's spent, like he said, 2 months of meetings, and these meetings were 3+ hours long, trying to make sure that the flow works, not only for the teachers, but the staff, the district and all of that. So it's been really a process here. So I'd love to hear if people have questions on what you're seeing so far.
Tammy, I got one question. Bert, the last time I was on one of these meetings, there was questions about the STEM room that the DESE didn't quite understand what they were or didn't know how to rate them or whatever. Has that issue been resolved?
Yes, that's been resolved. So with the PSR phase, at the conclusion of that, when they approve us to go to schematics, part of their comments tells us what spaces they're going to support and which spaces they're not. And Westfield did excellent. They really did. It's the result of a strong ed program that was put together by the district. But the STEM room was fully supported. So.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
I have a question.
Yep.
Can you go back to the first floor where the STEM room is? And this is kind of maybe a in the weeds question, as Dan would say, but did you say you were putting storage under the stairs?
Yes.
Are
So
they
you-
allowing, is the fire code allowing that? And I only ask that because I'm having that issue right now at my current building where they're not going to allow me to build anything under the stairs or anything because of fire code.
Yeah, that's because you have your stairs are existing, right? In
Yes.
your building. So we'll design these. We'll detail them to be fire. The room will be rated underneath the stairs, but we're permitted to do that. We actually, just as a side note, we've met with a lot of people, school department and on the city side, and we have met with the building department and sat down and gone through our plans with them to make sure that if they had any questions that they could ask them. And we've also been in meetings with the fire department and police department.
Good. I love that. I love using every space possible. I just didn't, I'm glad they can do it.
Mhm.
I love the
That's-
design. Great job.
That's the idea. We want to try to not take up additional footprint if we can tuck something in and we could get enough height under those stairs that we could do it. So.
Awesome.
Bridget, you had a question? I see your hand up.
Yes, and it's actually not a question, it's a comment for Pete. I'm getting, people are saying the audio is not working on channel 15, and I just wanted to let him know in case he could fix that. I don't know if
Thank
that-
you.
I'm aware of it. I'm going to post the video right after it's done because to fix it now, I'd have to shut off my computer, which isn't going to happen. So.
Okay, thank you. That's all I had to add.
Yep.
Thank you, Bridget, for bringing that up. Ray, did you have a question?
No
Or
more,
a
just a comment. I really love the layout. I like the way when you move this STE, the STEM room there, that flow that you mentioned earlier. I think that works great. It makes a nice and smooth transition into the building. And I love the fact that you move the music and art room downstairs and next to each other. So I love the design. Absolutely love it. I think it's great.
Thank you. Chris?
It's just commentary. As someone who has been a part of every one of these meetings, I can't thank our architects and Dan enough for being a listener. All of these design plan changes came out of people who have their feet on the ground, the nurses, people in science, people in music, and so on and so forth. And they really took it and made it work. So I can't thank you enough. Something that I think, Cindy, you'd appreciate, but that STEM room, while going up the stairs, we've asked for display, like windows, to get in not only natural light, but to display kids' pieces. So all along, every place is going to be something about education, and that really excites me, because it doesn't matter if it's a closet, there's a purpose for it. And so thanks, Bert. Thanks, Dan, for all your hard work. Thanks, Tammy, for being there for every one of them, because it really was a team effort, and that I can say everybody would be proud.
Great. It was that tour that wasn't really a tour, right, Chris?
That is correct. And Cindy, just as an FYI, I went to check out the new playground. Tammy and Brian said, check out the new playground over on Cross Street. And you need to go check it out for.
I have.
Oh, I'm my two
It's
thumbs
amazing.
up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I'm so glad that we have something that can be approved, that's already been used and tested, and yeah.
Great. Any other questions or comments for Bert?
Tammy, I have a quick question.
Sure.
And this may have already been addressed and I missed it all, but the media center room, does that have a door to the outside that potentially the community could use if that becomes a topic? Or is that fully closed?
Right now, the media center does not have an exterior door incorporated into it. We had originally these meeting rooms on the opposite side up at the top here, and we moved them down so that we'll be able to get access either from the vestibule or right inside the lobby to these meeting rooms in case you're going to share out the meeting rooms for a conference kind of function without having to go through the media center. The STE room is also connected to the media center. They've got the outdoor classroom, but you may not want to open that up when you're just trying to share the media center. So that's something that if there's interest, we can talk about it. I can say that the number of exterior doors was specifically discussed, especially with our public safety people and our security consultants that we hire, and intentionally limited so that we've limited access points to the building as much as practical to still support the program of the school. So
thank you. And I agree with the cross street playground. If you can give PJ Miller a pat on the back sometime when you see him, it turned out phenomenal down there. So
Yes, it
Another
did.
That's in Ward 2.
So I do want to, Brian, that was a really good question you had in regards to the media center. And I think that was one of the changes that had come out, I think at one of the last meetings about the media center in changing those conference rooms so that they could be used by the public and you didn't have to actually physically go full into the media center. You could actually access those conference rooms right off the vestibule. So that was one thing that the team that was, discussing it actually had some ideas on that. So that's a great point and a great question. And I'm happy to see that Bert was able to kind of modify the design to meet that need of a community type space.
thank you.
Okay. So keep the questions coming, but I can have Bert, kind of go on and show you some other stuff.
Okay. So that brings us really, in staying mindful of the time, we've taken a couple more attempts at the building elevations, and we've really just developed a couple more options, one with pitched roofs and one with flat roofs. So the feedback, if people remember so far, is a traditional New England looking school and pitched roofs if possible. So the first one is our pitched roof scheme. And this is it. So we're really materials, if we can get feedback on materials, if you like the pitched roofs, if you don't like the pitched roofs, the massing, any comments that people have are fair game. And we're really just looking for a direction to kind of go each time. I think that we present these, hopefully we'll zero in on something that's right for Westfield with each presentation, get a little bit closer. I can tell you from experience that the building elevations that we submit in schematic design are rarely what gets put into the final documents. This is something that gets developed all the way through the process, right up until the end, because there's a lot riding on it. We want to make sure that the building looks and has the right feel for Westfield, and that it's a building that you can be proud of for the next 50 to 100 years. So right now we're looking at brick just because it's a traditional material. We could go with some kind of a base on the building. A masonry again is what we're thinking. And so in this option, we're showing like a ground face CMU, some wood look accent panels to kind of break down the length of the facades and highlight different areas like the entry and the stair towers. And then using precast sills and headers incorporated with the brick to give that kind of traditional look and similar to the vocabulary you might see in the Abner Gibbs School or on the National Guard base right next door uses a lot of that too. So the other scheme would be a flat roof scheme. Again, precast, using precast with brick. We could do a cornice, we could do some accent banding, the sills and the headers over the windows, precast. And this one we went with an ashlar stone base, kind of New Englandy, I guess, vernacular. And when you get to the entrance on either side with the library and then the admin offices, we kind of pulled that all the way up full height on the wall. Still looking at using some kind of an accent panel, whether it's wood look or a different material, but a rain screen system basically, but just in limited areas to break down the scale of the building and add interest to the facades. So those are the.
I'd like to comment, that's what was my request, to have a pitched roof. I like design number 1, and my suggested building material for the roof would be metal.
Mhm.
I think if you have a metal roof, you're gonna have a roof that's gonna last the length of the building. So I know it's a little more expensive up front, but I like the pitch and I like metal. So that's my 2 cents.
I was just going to ask, which one is like from a maintenance perspective? That was actually the question I had. From a maintenance perspective, which one is better? Which one's long term when you look at maintenance?
Between the pitched roof and the flat roof, you're asking?
Yes.
Oh boy, Dan, I don't know. Well, I don't know if people can hear you, Dan, but you're welcome to weigh in. But I would say with the flat roofs, and we're going to have flat roofs, even with the pitched roof scheme, we're going to end up with large areas of flat roofs. The maintenance that's associated with that really is, keeping the roof drains clear of leaves and debris. We'll have overflow drains that are incorporated into that. The membranes themselves, they last pretty good. You'll get 20 years out of that anyways. Metal roofs, the sloped roof obviously will keep stuff from accumulating on it. The maintenance on those, or the piece of that starts to look old, is really just the finish, and usually you can get a finish warranty for, again, similar time frame, 20 years. So
on a metal roof, that's just one, because I've seen this happen before, because we have winter here.
Right.
There's snow, and with metal roofs, do we have to worry about the snow coming down on the edges of the building and having to worry about people getting hurt?
So if we do our jobs right, we have to worry about that, but hopefully Westfield shouldn't have to worry about that.
Okay.
We'll definitely have to incorporate snow guards though on the metal roof. And you do get some heavy snows out here, so
Yeah, we do.
we'll need to consider that carefully when we're doing our detailing if we go that route.
Okay. I like the look better, but I just want to make sure it's the right thing.
Can we go back to the pitch roof? I mean, my preference is the pitch roof. I think it just fits the neighborhood better. It would feel like more like a neighborhood school, but I know there's other concerns as well. I like that myself. And
I think with the pitched roofs, what we would do is we just kind of, the wings that face the street and the fields in the back, we'd put like a shed roof on those, and that would give us the back half that faces the courtyard would be flat. We're going to have to put mechanical units up on the roof and things like that. So the pitched roofs, a benefit to those is that it hides them without specifically building a screen for them. So
I just want to make sure that everybody did see, Dan did type in, and I just want Brian Ferret to kind of weigh in too, because we talk maintenance, and there is a maintenance cost to the pitched versus flat. So I don't know if Brian, you want to kind of talk about what your thoughts are, and maybe kind of talk a little bit about what Dan just typed in the chat.
Yeah, so Dan's comment in regards to the flat roofs and the leaking. So when he's talking about the leaking, it's where the rake edges come together, where you get snow and water that'll sit and pool. Yes, on a flat roof, there is some ponding after years of degradation of the insulation on the roof, but it is less likely to leak on a flat roof than on a pitched roof. Now, for the front of our building, I kind of would like to actually see a mix of the two, because we do need some aesthetics to this building. And, I don't really necessarily like the pitch on the second floor of the front of the building, but on the first floor, I'm not hating it. And I do think that where those roof planes are, because those overhang, in order for us to maintain a flat roof in that area, we would have to get a ladder to get up there. It doesn't look like there's any access at this point in time, but I don't know how much further Bert and his teams are going to be taking that. But I would kind of like to mix the two. I like the front entrance on this particular rendering, but I think flat roofs on the second story would be a little bit more beneficial down the road, and the cost to the city of Westfield, over the longevity of the project. But Bert and his teams will be looking at that, and he'll be sharing that with us in the future.
Thank you, Brian.
Sorry, Dan.
I'd just like to weigh in. This is the first time I'm seeing both of these. I think that the first one looks definitely more like an elementary school. It's more inviting. It's more of a I don't know, it's almost like a town kind of feeling, because, and I think of those neighborhoods. If there's a way, I saw in Dan's comment, to put facades on the top without adding the maintenance, I'm not sure if that can be done, but keeping some of those sloped roofs would, I think, would really help that warmth.
A great point. I will say, just because this is, truly the school building committee is the first seeing of these drawings that Dan had really asked Bert and his team to kind of put up so that we could kind of see these in real life pictures versus just, drawings on, rectangles. I will say one of the things that was really important to me was some mixed types of materials. And I am liking, the whole wood look accent panels, the ground face. I really liked on the second drawing, the media center. And yeah, the media center and the office really kind of having those different colors. And I liked the gray look. So I do, Bert, thank you for trying to meet some of my comments as far as mixing some of those elements so that it wasn't just one blank look. So I appreciate that.
I really like, this first time we got to see this too. We just had some conversations about it, but this is the first time we've been able to see this. And I think, either way, it's nice, like Tammy said, for us to be able to see some colors and some windows too.
And Dan did just comment, so one of the things that we do need to as a group at some point really decide that brick, is brick really the main building material that we'd like to use. I'm really wanting to make sure that, it does fit into the neighborhood. It is, doesn't stick out. It's not a city building type look. But as a group, that is something that, we're going to have to decide. It's not something we get to decide tonight. But, we do need to. Bert, do I need to decide that tonight?
You don't have to decide that tonight.
Okay.
It'd be nice if you guys had a direction, but I think even with the feedback you've given us tonight, we can take another attempt at it and see. See what we
Tammy.
come up with.
Yep.
Tammy, it's Ralph. I'm running out of battery on my phone, so if there's a vote we need to take, we do that now.
Yep. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to take a vote on voting to allow the Bert, do you want to go back through it? It's the DESE submission that we have to do for the spaces.
That we can use this building layout in these plans for the DESE submission, right?
I'll make a motion to approve the presentation.
Second,
Thank you. Cindy, roll call, please. Did we lose Cindy?
She's muted.
Sorry, I was unmuted. Shannon Barry,
Yes.
Shannon,
Yes.
Chris Carey,
Yes.
Ray Diaz,
Yes.
Ralph Figgy,
Yes.
Brian Ferret,
Yes.
Shelley Hazlitt,
Yes.
Bridget Matthews Kane,
yes.
Bill Parks,
Yes.
Brian Sullivan,
Yes.
Cindy Sullivan,
Yes.
Tammy Tepp,
Yes.
Chris Tolpa.
Yes.
Thank you. So that just, other than voting to adjourn, that's the only vote that we needed tonight. So I thank you guys for that.
Bridget had a comment on the massing.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on the brick. I'm a fan of the brick. One of the houses that we're tearing down is a brick house. There's many other brick houses in that neighborhood. So I just think that idea of it going along with the neighborhood feel, there's so much brick there already. I think it would help it fit right in.
Okay,
I
great.
like the look of the other one, but for this neighborhood, I like the brick.
Okay.
I like brick, but I also like the contrast. So maybe we could do different colored bricks for the entrance of the two areas that you had the wood in. So I think a little bit of both, but I really like brick in that neighborhood as well.
So do I, and I really like the ashlar stone base with the pitched roof. That would be my vote. As many pitched roofs as we can have, like hearts.
I would say I like the brick. I like the brick too. I think it fits in the neighborhood. And to bridge the point, I think, that other house was that red brick. So maybe facing one side of the street, it's going to be the red to look like the rest of the neighborhood. And to get some of that other contrast, we can look at some of the other sides of the buildings to get some of that look that we all think, I think we all like. So.
Yeah, and I do still like the idea of the contrast, but
Yeah.
brick is the main one.
Yeah, I
Definitely,
agree.
definitely a majority brick. Yes.
Yes.
From what I'm hearing, I'd like to make a motion that we proceed with brick as the main building material for the exterior.
Can Chris make a
Second.
Masonry.
Amend to make
Can I
Brick,
ask, does the
masonry.
ashlar stone equal the brick, or is that a different? Does that
What do you
fall
mean by
under a
equal?
different category?
It's still masonry, but it's a stone masonry as opposed to a brick. So I don't know if that answers your question or not. Brick, there's all kinds of masonry, but brick itself comes in all kinds of different colors, textures, and sizes too. The ashlar bond ashlar is not like a type of stone; it's a bond pattern, and it's really just a random pattern. So you've got like the larger stones with the smaller ones kind of mixed in. It's not, and they're cut stones though; they're not like round or field stone type of a look. It's a cut stone. For the next meeting, if people are interested, I can make sure I have an image of what an ashlar bond looks like. So. But
Yeah, no, I think that would be great, Bert, actually, if, and Chris has his hand up, so I just want to make sure we get to Chris's comment or question. But I'm wondering if, before we have a meeting on the 20th of July, or if we took a motion then, would that be good? Because you'd have a chance to give us some samples.
yeah, that's our next meeting is the 20th.
Yeah, July 20th.
Yeah, so we're sending our documents to the cost estimators before that, but I think that and I can work with Dan and we'll figure out what the right balance is. But I think what we want to do is just make sure that we're carrying kind of just rough materials and proportions for the estimator.
Yeah.
And like I said, it could change completely. Once we do the estimate for the schematic design phase, that's going to create the project funding agreement. So that'll be our budget for the envelope, really.
Okay.
But we can do it. We have flexibility as long as we carry something along these lines.
Before we talk about that motion, Chris, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I agree with everybody and all their comments. I just want to add, to me, what would be important to the neighborhood is to break up some of the massing, which I think Bert's and his team's done a great job doing, but both through materials and volumes. But I agree, if it's too massive, it's not going to fit in. I love the brick idea, but again, I'd like to try to achieve a diversity in volumes.
Great point, Chris.
Can I just, Tammy, one of the meetings that we had was on the outside, and there's so many different materials to consider other than brick. And I love the brick and I think it should be the main, but there's so many different things that we can do to bring out color and texture and style. So I'm just excited to see what they have to offer.
Yeah, and Dan just did in the comment section, that we can carry, masonry as, for the PFA, and then we can see some blown up details. And then, that's when we'll start kind of narrowing down those other accents, correct, Bert?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, so do you need a motion from us, or do you believe that you kind of have your?
It's not required. I mean, if you guys wanted just to document it, that brick was going to be the predominant one, you could do that, or that it's masonry, however you want to word it. But
Yeah, Ralph, did you want to amend that to say masonry?
Is he gone? Did he lose his power?
Lose his power. So I think the motion, he had amended it to
Masonry.
to be masonry.
He did amend it, yeah.
Yeah, and Cindy, you had seconded that, right?
I'm back, and I wouldn't amendment.
Yes.
Okay. So Cindy, can we have a roll call for the motion for masonry to be the primary material?
Sure. Shannon Barry,
Yes.
Chris Carey,
Yes.
Ray Diaz,
Yes.
Ralph Figgy,
Yes.
Brian Florett,
Yes.
Shelley Hazlitt,
Yes.
Bridget Matthews Kane,
Yes.
Bill Park,
Yes.
Brian Sullivan,
Yes.
Cindy Sullivan,
Yes.
Tammy Tef,
Yes.
and Lisa Benoit.
Nope, Chris Tolpa.
Oh, sorry, Chris Tolpa.
Yes.
So Bert, you're back on the floor, so you're good to go.
Okay. Well, that was really all I had tonight, is to kind of show you what has happened with the plan since our preferred schematic submission, and then to kind of share some of our early attempts at the elevations on the building and the massing. So if people are interested, let's see. I can stop my share for a second. Okay.
You guys, I need to go to the game. So you guys have a wonderful beginning of July, 4th of July weekend and everything, and I will see you guys soon.
Thanks, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Thank
Good luck.
you.
Go Bombers.
Bye,
Bye.
Dave. Yes,
Good luck, Chris.
thank you.
Scream for us.
Next. Where'd Tammy go?
I'm right here. I'm right here. I think Bert's gonna show you maybe something.
I was gonna try, but let's see.
Dana said, sorry about his audio issues. Don't get used to his silence. I'm surprised Bert's not taking more advantage of this. Come on.
Right? You would think.
This is your chance.
It is. I don't know why I'm not seeing the window that I want to show. I opened up my web browser, but it's not showing up in what I can share here.
So I do, as Bert is looking at stuff, some of the things that I'm hoping for, the next meeting is Bert's been showing us different materials, different, pictures of things. And I really want to start getting the school building committee involved in some of those thoughts and what you're thinking. Right now, Bert and his teams are really focused on that schematic and submitting the cost estimates to MSBA. So, that's why you're not really seeing, you're seeing kind of big picture, you're not seeing the small stuff, but at the next meeting, I would really ask Bert to kind of give you some ideas of what some of the classrooms are starting to look like. He's really done some really great drawings that he's been sharing with the teachers and stuff to get their thoughts. But I really want to know your thoughts and where you'd like to see things, especially anything that is community driven, so that you guys can really get a sense of what the school is really shaping up to be. And I apologize that, we didn't really meet this month between budgets and all of that. It just got really difficult. And I don't want you guys meeting every single night on stuff. So I selfishly said, we'll wait till the end of June. But I think it's important that we start having some more meetings so that you guys can see it. I am planning on, hopefully after the summer is to start having in-person meetings. I'm hoping you guys are okay with that. They don't have to be every meeting, but I think it's good that we can kind of all sit around a table and be able to talk and see pictures and stuff. So I'm hoping the will of the committee is to support that. But I figured with the summer over Zoom might be a little bit easier for people and their schedules. So Bert, were you able to get anything or?
Yeah, I can probably put the slideshow back up. I just copied and pasted something on, that's all.
Okay.
But I can do it. It's not pretty, but let's see.
Well, Dan can't talk, so he won't have a.
Actually, now that I did that, I can see the website that I was on. These are ashlar bonds, basically, just a cut stone look, and they're kind of put in randomly into the wall. So
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah.
that's kind of the look I was thinking.
It's a great accent. I like that a lot.
Yep.
It's got some nice texture, different sizes, and as a base material, I think it's nice, and it's kind of reminiscent of New England vernacular, I think, too. So.
Well,
Yeah,
because
no,
you want it to fit into the neighborhood, but you also, like Chris said, you don't want it to just be a bunch of bricks.
Mhm.
So I think that accent would look great.
It adds interest, and I think that like cut stone is kind of a a civic type building material, anyways. But without going overboard, it's not like we're building a public library from the
Right.
1800s. So
No, I think that's actually, I think these are some of the things that will be important for the school building committee to see is really look at pictures of material that you are thinking. Because for me, I need to see a picture before I can actually envision it somewhere.
right.
So, I mean, that's just my thoughts. So I appreciate you actually just putting that picture up.
Okay.
Okay. So just going by the agenda, first of all, is there any questions that you guys have for Bert or Dan? I know Dan can't really talk, but if you have any questions, let me know. If not, is there anything that anyone wants to bring up that wasn't reasonably anticipated? Okay, seeing none. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Perfect. Cindy, roll call, please.
Shannon Barry,
Yes.
Chris Carey,
Yes.
Ray Diaz,
Yes.
Ralph Figgy,
He's dropped off.
Disconnected. Lost
Yep.
power.
Brian Perrette,
Yes.
Shelley Haslett,
Yes.
Bridget Matthews Kane,
Yes.
Bill Parks,
Yes.
Ryan Sullivan,
Yes.
Cindy Sullivan,
Yes.
and Tammy Tuck.
Yes. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it, especially all you guys popping on tonight, and we will see you on the 20th.